You know, it's a strange feeling. I'm sitting here looking at the chart, calm, structured, everything's following the plan. But I remember when the same moment used to be pure panic. The market felt chaotic and I had no structure and no confidence. Back when I started, I constantly felt overwhelmed. Too much info and most of it was just noise. That's when I realized I didn't need another indicator. I needed a guide, something clear, logical, and reliable. That's how my first strategy system was born. Today, I'll show you how that system works in a live market situation. This video isn't about luck or magic, it's about a method that helps you stay grounded, even when the market's all over the place. Let's first of all customize our workspace to make us as comfortable as possible. Let's make a time frame of 5 seconds. Next, I add the MACD indicator, whose settings I set by default, and click Save. Then I go to the right side of the screen where I put the expiration time. I set it to 15 seconds. Everything is ready for convenient and high quality work. Here we see a reversal movement on the indicator and on the chart. I open a position down and wait for the expiration time. Great! I will now explain this situation. We see an upward movement, which was accompanied by a negative crossing of the instrument, after which a downward movement should follow. There is a downward slope, a red histogram, and so the upward movement of the line. The situation is quite understandable. By the way, this exact approach is what we practice daily in my community. I show where I find solid entries, the team repeats, experiments, analyzes, and grows. This method stands out because it doesn't ask you to guess or react emotionally. Instead, clear steps that help you stay focused and know what to do at any moment. If you ever have questions, just try it out. I try to stay available and help others just like others once helped me. I'm moving on. We see a situation similar to the previous one. Because of this, I'll repeat the same position on the downside and wait for the expiration time. Great! The exact same movement occurred here as on the previous occasion. There was an upward movement, after which the instrument indicated a reversal, and this reversal successfully took place in reversal in several waves. We caught a corrective move, and that's good enough for us. Recently, we had a very similar setup in one of our sessions. It looked like a tough market zone, but the strategy handled it perfectly. Entry point, fixed target, logical exit. My members told me it was the first time everything clicked into place. And that's exactly the goal: clarity, structure, and progress, step by step without panic. Curious how it works in real life? You can try it yourself. Just follow the link in the description, no pressure. We see a downward movement, but there are urges to grow. Because of this, I will open a position up and wait for the expiry time. It's a tricky situation, but I hope it succeeds. Alright folks, why am I saying that this was a risky situation? Because there is a global downward movement going on here. In this case, the two is pointing downward, but here is a very important point. At this point, the green line has begun to cross the red line from the bottom to the top, and this indicates potential growth. Because of this, I opened a position on the upside. But why was this a risky situation? Because in this situation, the traffic was just sideways and it's not easy to get burned on it. You have to be careful and analyze such moments carefully. You know, I've tested tons of tools, strategies, and expert tips over the years, and it always comes back to this. The simpler and clearer your steps are, the more confident you feel. Strange, isn't it? My method isn't about fast wins, it's about structure, logic, and long-term thinking. I see how people in the community are growing, getting their first results, and most importantly, finally understanding what they're doing. I think by now you know what to do. Moving on, at the beginning of the upward movement, I open a position up for the continuation of the upward movement and wait for the expiry time. What we see is that the chart is volatile, but that doesn't bother us. We see the beginning of an upward movement on the indicator, which is accompanied by the price chart. According to this trend, I opened a position on the upside and successfully fixed it. Great result. I'm moving on here. I see a global downtrend that is accompanied by instrument movement. Because of this, I open a position down for the continuation of the downward movement, and I'm waiting to see what happens. Whoa, great position, folks. We saw a strong downward movement, which may even continue, but we don't care about that anymore. We caught the downward movement that the indicator was also talking about. No buyer power was detected here. Because of that, the position was opened on the downside. And we can see further movement, which I also mentioned. So what do you think of the strategy, friends? You just saw how a simple structured method helps you stay calm and focused even in the most unpredictable market conditions. It's not magic, it's a well thought out system based on logic and years of experience, mine and the community's. Thanks for watching, and yes, I'm always happy to help you figure out where to start.